there, JP.
Hello.
What's up? How are you?
How's it going? I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh my God, you have the perfect lighting. How did you figure that out?
I put my phone in front of the window.
Well, you know what?
Light.
What?
Natural space.
Yeah.
I like it. God, I want to be just, I want to show up to all my meetings with an acoustic guitar, ready to roll.
Welcome to my life the last 4 months.
I know. Are you at home or are you in a hotel?
I'm in a hotel.
Okay. So God, like, I don't even know where to start. Like, obviously, you know, we're playing your song, If the World Was Ending, which came out.
I appreciate it so much.
Oh my gosh, we love it. We love it. It's a beautiful, beautiful duet too. Like the harmony's beautiful. It's just like, I don't know how to ask this during a pandemic, because my first question would have been, how has your life changed since that came out? But now it's like a double question, because life has changed for everyone, you know?
Well, so fun fact about that song and us doing this interview today.
Okay.
It was actually written today, last year.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
July 20th, 2019. Best day of my life.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a really, really good day. The song is the second reason it was a really good day. But it's been quite an adventure. You know, when it came out in October, and it had a life before quarantine happened.
Yeah.
When the song resonated with people when it was about wanting to be with your loved one in a hypothetical catastrophe.
Yeah.
Obviously, the song took on a little bit of a different meaning when it was about wanting to be with your loved ones in a not hypothetical catastrophe.
Right.
But in terms of how my life has changed, you know, there's been a lot of exciting moments for this song and therefore for me throughout all of this, but it's hard to like feel like a big shot when all of your wins happen locked in your living room.
Yeah.
Virtually.
Does it almost feel like it's not real?
You know, there are pros and cons. Like I live with my girlfriend who I wrote this song with. So we've got to like really celebrate it all together, which has been amazing. But, you know, touring is my favorite part of my career. So not getting to be in cities I've never been in and sing this song with people, you know, it'll happen eventually. But that's when it really starts to feel real. I've found in, you know.
Do you remember the last time you performed live?
The last time I performed live was no, that's not true. The last time I performed live was March 3rd at Shepherd's Bush Empire in London.
Oh, wow. Right under the wire.
Yeah, it was the last.
How many people on that show?
I was opening for Len and Stella, so there were probably like 1,200-ish.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Reasonably intimate show.
Say it again?
Reasonably intimate show.
Yeah, I mean, 1,200 for me is, in March, 1,200 for me were still some of the bigger audiences I'd ever played for.
Okay.
But I appreciate the optimism of that feeling like an intimate show.
I like to think big.
I tweeted yesterday, I was like, did February even happen this year? Like, it's so weird to look back on like just March and February and January, because it feels like time stopped, even though the year is slowly but surely progressing. It's weird to look back on, pre-COVID life.
Yeah, this might be getting a little bit too in depth, but I think, you know, obviously all of our lives have changed over the last 6 months, but I don't think on an individual level, anyone's life has changed in a more dramatic way than people's lives usually change year to year. What makes it unique is that all of our lives are changing in the same way, or at least because of the same thing. I'll give you an example. Like, my mom passed in January, so that's been the biggest change of my 2020.
Yeah.
But I feel like for everyone, there's always, like, whether it be tragedy or growth, you know, there's always a significant change. And as difficult as COVID has been, it's a change that we're all communally going through.
Mm-hmm.
And the idealist in me would love to think that there is something good that comes out of that, at least like cerebrally for all of us.
Sure.
I think that's a beautiful way to think about it. You have to, you know, because there are, I mean, like, if you could name some positives right now that, like, how have you grown because of this?
I mean, how have I grown? I've gotten really, really good at Jeopardy.
Yeah.
That counts.
I'm so good at it. And when I watch Shark Tank, I can guess usually who is going to make an offer and what offer they're going to make. That's definitely been a point of growth. I win probably 75% of the Scrabble games I play. I was probably at about 50% pre-quarantine.
Yeah. I couldn't do that even now, like even with studying. So hey, that counts for something.
Yep.
In the subject of like the circle of life, like you were talking about. So my daughter's birthday is today, and she's 6, and my dad's birthday is tomorrow, and he's going to be 85.
Wow.
And I get to watch the in and the out like every single day. You know what I mean? Like as everything that she learns, he forgets. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm watching the beginning and kind of, not to be morbid about it, but watching the beginning and the end. You know, we're all shacked up together, so it's interesting.
That is interesting. It's beautiful. Happy birthday to your daughter.
Thank you so much. I want to get into, so my theory was because If the World Was Ending didn't come into the forefront really, in my mind, till like, I don't know, February, maybe it was January, but then the pandemic hit and then it really took off. And my first thought was, this is like the COVID cuffing song. This is like, I need somebody so I'm not going alone. Hey, you'd come over, right? But then I'm sitting there in the car and I'm listening to it. I'm like, no, this is like a sad love song. This is the song where, hey, I know we didn't work out, but if the world was ending, you'd come over, right? And then you have that moment. And I'm at the stoplight and I'm like, you're not crying. I mean, I'm not crying, you're crying. And I'm looking around and people staring at me. It's just a really, I don't know, it's an interesting dynamic that you go through when you've known somebody long enough, or you've been in a relationship long enough and it's comfortable. And maybe you broke up, but you want to bring them back because they're comfortable and you know them. Am I off on that, or is that?
No, I think you're spot on. I think the feeling of that song for me at the time was the recognition that in a non-world ending situation, you had come to terms with all of the rationality behind why someone wasn't in your life.
It's not going to work out, right?
You knew it. You felt grounded in that understanding.
Right.
But if some larger than life reason intervened on all of your rationality, if all of those reasons no longer held up, would you still want to be with that person?
Yeah.
That's I think the feeling of where the song was coming from. I've really tried to be adamant in the promotion of this song that it is not promoting the texting of exes. I do not support or condone anyone texting their exes. I think 99.9% of the time it's an awful idea.
Yeah. But you can't help what people are going to do, you know? That is not your
no, I cannot. I cannot. I just put honest songs out in the world and let people interpret them as they will. But I will say that love will always get better than a love that doesn't want you back.
Absolutely. Did you meet Julia through the recording of the song?
We met the day we wrote the song. So we met a year ago today.
Oh my God.
I need to know the whole story.
This is so awesome. I know. I didn't know if you knew each other before recording the song and that just brought you closer, or oh wow. So like total bonus for surprise for you.
Yes. I did not have any idea how many parts of my life were going to change on this day last year. It was pretty magical.
How does that work then as a performer and an artist? Like, how do you do that? Like they say, okay, here's your part of the song. We're going to bring someone in. They're going to sing it with you, or?
No, not quite like that. So we had met because she shared another song of mine called 25 in Barcelona on her Instagram story.
Okay.
That might have been, I don't know exactly when that was, but a few months before July. And I thanked her for doing that and was very excited about it because when she shared the song, I was actually mid-conversation about how I thought she was the most influential songwriter of our generation. So strange serendipity there. We get talking, we talk about writing, and not long after that, we get into the studio, July 20th. And then I had written in my journal this idea for a song, If the World Was Ending, You'd Come Over, right? And told Julia about it, and we started talking, and we're sitting at the piano, and I sang the first little bit of it, and then she came right out with the next little bit of it, and we wrote the song pretty fast. It was just the conversation flowed really naturally into the song. And then all of the final vocals on the record we recorded that day with Benjamin Rice, all the pianos from that day too.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what romantically, did you feel that spark that day, or did you just try to like keep it professional?
So the way I was taught as a songwriter, all the mentors I ever had a very, like, almost rule number one was never hit on anyone you collaborate with.
Yeah.
It was like, you just don't do it. So I had never done it, and I had no intention of ever doing it. And I always used to say I would never date another songwriter. There was something different about that session. And at the end of the session, you know, we were talking about what we were doing after, and she said she was going out with friends. And I said, you should invite me to that.
Oh,
Nice.
so in love with just
Game recognized game.
It was the most forward I'd ever been. And then we went on our first date the next day. And then I asked her to be my girlfriend 9 days later. So we will have our 1 year anniversary in 9 days.
wow.
So she hit you right in the face right away. I mean, sounds like love at first sight, you can be honest. The Italians call it the thunderbolt. You know?
It was quite lightning-like.
Yeah. Same with me and my wife. I get it. I had to do my research to make sure y'all hadn't broken up before I asked you about the song. Because the last thing I wanted was, oh yeah, no, man, we broke up. But the song's rocks. This is so exciting. So then, were you guys already living together when COVID hit, or did you just decide?
We're in the process of moving in together right now.
Okay.
I'm in a hotel not because we got in some big fight. I'm in a hotel because I was filming a music video in Minnesota until yesterday. So I'm quarantining. I got tested yesterday, and I'm quarantining until I get the test results back.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Did you just get tested to make sure, like, hey, I'm traveling?
Well, tested before, and then upon getting back from Minnesota, because I was on a flight, I went right from the airport to get tested, and then checked in right to the hotel, and I get the results tomorrow. So once I get the results back, then I will join our family.
You do a self-test?
It was like one of those drive-in ones where you like pull up to a parking spot, and the person in the hazmat suit comes up with a swab. And
Oh, did you sneeze? I'm scared of those big old the Q-tips.
it wasn't so bad.
Okay.
And I feel perfectly fine, but I've heard so many stories of young people being asymptomatic that, like, the last thing I want to do is give anyone I love anything. So
Sure.
just trying to be, like, extra careful.
Responsible.
I'm going to forget to say this, but please tell Julia that I think she's crazy talented. And I have also driven home to her songs, especially like Issues, for example, Waterworks. So just like she touches.
I will let her know. I
Please.
couldn't agree more. I think I think she's one of the most defining artists of our generation. I think the songwriting that I get to do, like, before I even knew Julia, I felt like she just opened this door for anyone who wanted to be really sincere in their songwriting to think it was commercially viable because of Julia. In her songwriting for others and in her artist project, I'm really grateful for the impact she has made on the music world.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Marcus, did you leave?
My mother's calling me, of course. Sorry, you
Oh,
guys.
that's
I'll be right there.
hilarious.
I'll be right there. Wow, Mom, thanks.
Great timing. That's
I
so
want to
awesome.
talk about something amazing that you've done here during Shelter in Place to benefit Doctors Without Borders. The video that you did with the other artists, that is amazing. Sandy, did you see the skull?
I haven't yet, no.
Basically, you got the who's who in the music industry to sing your song. You know, one of your songs with you and Julia kind of running point. And, you know, I see Sam Smith, and I can't do it off the top of my head. You're going to have to tell me who was in that video because it is amazing.
There's a lot of people in that video. It came together very organically. We had seen, it started with two artists posting a cover. So Alessia Cara posted a little cover, and then Jordan Davis posted a little cover. And Julia and I were like, this is cool. Like, our friends are covering our song.
Right.
Hey, maybe we could use this to, like, you know, do something good. So we started kind of playing around with this idea of, you know, how many artists could we get to send us a little clip of the song? We could mix it together. We could partner with Doctors Without Borders. We could raise some money. So we kind of just text all of it. First, I have a friend at Doctors Without Borders. So we reached out to them, got their approval, made sure it was something they were down with, and they were really excited about it. At the end of the video, my friend Crystal, who works with Doctors Without Borders, speaks about their projects around the world. And yeah, so we asked basically all of our friends, and basically everyone said yes. So we mixed it together. Ben Rice, who did the original version, helped us mix it all together. And I think we've raised over 40 grand now.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
great.
And I
So
love that
great.
it starts there. Everything starts with an idea, and then it just keeps going. And I love that life works that way. It's really
It was
beautiful.
super fun. It was just Julie and I on the couch, like making it a game. Like,
Right.
you know, she texts Keith Urban, and he's like, of course I'll do it. And then she gets a video, and she was like, I got Keith Urban. And then I'm texting Sam Smith. He's like, okay, I'll send you one. And then I'm like, Sam's going to send a video. And it was super fun.
Oh,
That was,
It was quite an
how do you
adventure.
together? Is it you guys or the labels? But it sounds like it turned into a drinking game and a bet.
Kind of. It was kind of like a drinking game, us sitting beside each other, just like having fun with it. And
yeah.
I think part of what made it an easy yes for a lot of our community was it wasn't like some label or some, you know, corporation putting together like a charity marketing video. Like it really was just a group of artists who wanted to do something simple. One of my life mantras is feeling like you can't do a lot is a shitty reason not to do a little. And I think, you know, there's always that consideration, like how much of a difference does me singing a bit of a song actually make?
Right.
But the answer to that question for me is more than nothing. It does more than nothing. And for that reason, it has to be valid. And I think that's kind of everyone's approach to it. They were like, you know, it took them 5 minutes to sing a bit of the song, and, you know, 40 grand has got to make some bit of a difference. And honestly, my hope is that even more than the money, that people hearing about, you know, the most important part of that video is the end of it, where Crystal talks about what Doctors Without Borders is doing around the world.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, people just feeling like their involvement in how we can help isn't some distant, far off issue. It's something that we're all kind of involved in and can feel some responsibility over is a good thing.
Yeah. Well, and it was just damn cool, like the way you did it, you know, it's like entertaining and it has a really cool message. So good for you.
Thank you.
I think, go ahead, Sadie.
Oh, I was just saying, like, this is one of those weird years where for me personally, like, how do I look back next year and know that I did something this year that I was proud of? You know what I mean? Even though it's so hard right now to do what we'd love to do, like, what can we do? And that's a cool way to utilize your talents, your network, and also just still be creative, because creativity, like, it keeps you going. I'm sure you're probably still writing and doing everything like that, but I don't know, it just keeps the fire burning, I guess you could say.
Absolutely.
I need PSA for anybody who wants, to Sandy's point, wants to do something, but then, you know, and I saw on your Twitter that you're an overthinker, and so am I. And so a situation like this will freeze us up because we want to do something. And like, to your point, it doesn't have to be big, but find a cause that you're passionate about and put one foot in front of the other, and it be your passion snowballs. So
yeah.
I just think that's really dope. Very cool. JP Saxe, and the EP is called Hold It Together. Do you have another album coming out later on this year we need to talk about it?
That's the plan. I think we're going to get the album out before the end of the year. I have another single coming out in about a month. The next one's one of my favorites I've ever done. I'm really excited about it. There's a lot of music that I've been working on for years, but you know, the last few months have been an opportunity to really hone in on the production of it all and really like craft it into something. And I can't wait to share that with everyone.
Oh, well, we're excited, and we're happy for you with everything, with the single, with your relationship, with the anniversary and everything. So thank you for taking the time, and also for being responsible and doing what you're doing, you know, while traveling. I think that's great.
If people want to connect with you online, what's your favorite social media to connect with fans?
Instagram or Twitter. JPSAXE on Instagram or Twitter. Instagram is, well, they're different, but I try to be myself on both of them, and I would love to connect with anyone. Am I playing you some songs? Is that the plan?
If you would like to, please. Yes. I didn't know you were going to, and I'm excited now.
How many?
We don't have a time limit. Whatever you want.
You want to do like
1, 2?
Yeah, 2 is cool. It was in my calendar that I was playing these songs, so I just followed.
Oh, I apologize. I'm excited. I'm just like ready for it.
No, it's all good. I wake up, I look at what I'm supposed to do, and I'm like, oh, I'm playing some songs for some people on my phone. Let's do it.
If you start seeing water coming out of my eyes, it's the lighting in here. It's not. Don't worry.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna start with a song that I put out a few weeks ago now. It's called Hey Stupid, I Love You.
Okay.
Great.
Cute.
Nothing's wrong, and it's not what I'm used to. Oh, does it surprise you too? When it's simple, is it easier than it should be? Nothing's wrong, but when you're not in my arms, I send voice notes, you send hearts, and get quiet, and I know that means you miss me. You're jealous, you shouldn't be. I want you obsessively, but I know how complicated it can get. When you're not in front of me, I know insecurities get in your head, but I'm not gonna interrupt. If you need to talk about it, roll my eyes and get offended by the way you doubt it. You know you're mine, you just forget sometimes, so promise me you won't. And you know I'll remind you when you think I don't. Hey stupid, I love you. Hey stupid, I love you. Nothing's wrong, I just get in my head too. Can you reassure me it's the ending? I just wish you could lean in and kiss me. Say nothing's wrong, tell me to settle down. You do it better than I've ever known how. Won't pull some tricks for attention, but could I get a little now? I'm not gonna interrupt if you need to talk about it. Roll my eyes and get offended by the way you doubt it. You know you're mine, you just forget sometimes. So promise me you won't. If you know I'll remind you when you think I don't. Hey stupid, I love you. Hey stupid, I love you. You're jealous, you shouldn't be. I want you obsessively, but I know how to do it. When you're not in front of me, I know what you're doing. Get in your head, I'm not gonna interrupt. If you need to talk about it, roll my eyes and get offended by the way you doubt it. You know you're mine, you just forget sometimes, so promise me you won't. And you know I'll remind you when you think I don't. Hey stupid, I love you. Hey stupid, I love you. How could you forget? I told you 17 times before 7 a.m. I love you. How could you forget? I told you 17 times. Hey stupid, I love you. How could you forget? I told you 17 times before 7 a.m. I love you. How could you forget? I told you 17 times. Hey stupid, I love you.
Nice.
Thank
awesome.
you.
Okay, I was muted for a second. That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was awesome. That was so cute. Was that a recent? Did you write that recently?
Yeah, it just came out.
Okay. Was that based on you and Julia having a moment, or was it? Yeah, I just kept on.
Yes, it was. It was. Song's kind of like, well, in simple terms, it was me spending a day being just like insecure for no reason, and her telling me to not trip about it.
Oh my God.
But and as the song came together, it kind of just based around this idea that if someone asks you for more love, it's easier to give it to them than to convince them they don't need it.
Got it.
Yeah, and sometimes like my response with someone I really love when they're like doubting it is to be like, that's so dumb. Like, how could you possibly feel that way? Like, I love you so much. Like, I don't even understand. But it turns out that like calling them stupid actually isn't the best approach.
Yeah, leave the first part out.
Yeah, just like hug them and be loving until they feel it. That song, like, I wanted to put that song out because the next song I'm going to put out is so heart-wrenching and painful. And If the World Was Ending was pretty heart-wrenching and painful. So I feel like Hey Stupid, I Love You was like handing my audience a popsicle in between two emotional punches in the face.
Yeah.
Well played. Well played.
All right, one more.
Okay.
I was distracted and in traffic. I didn't feel it when the earthquake happened, but it really got me thinking, were you out drinking? Were you in the living room, chilling, watching television? It's been years now. I think I figured out how to let you go and let communication die. I know, you weren't down for fun. It's fine. I know, we weren't meant for each other, and it's fine. But if the world was ending, you'd come over, right? You'd come over and you'd stay the night. Would you love me for the hell of it? All our fears would be irrelevant. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? Sky'd be falling while I hold you tight. There wouldn't be a reason why you would even have to say goodbye. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? Right. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? Right. I try to imagine your reaction. It didn't scare me when the earthquake happened, but it really got me thinking. That night we went drinking, stumbled in the house and didn't make it past the kitchen. Oh, it's been here now. Think I figured out how to think about you without it breaking my heart out. And I know, you weren't down for fun, but it's fine. I know, we weren't meant for each other, and it's fine. But if the world was ending, you'd come over, right? You'd come over and you'd stay the night. Would you love me for the hell of it? All our fears would be irrelevant. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? Sky'd be falling and I'd hold you tight. And there wouldn't be a reason why you would even have to say goodbye. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? You come over, right? You come over, right? I know, we know you weren't down for forever, and it's fine. I know, we know we weren't meant for each other, and it's fine. But if the world was ending, you'd come over, right? You'd come over and you'd stay the night. Would you love me for the hell of it? All our fears would be irrelevant. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? Sky'd be falling and I'd hold you tight. There wouldn't be a reason why we would even have to say goodbye. If the world was ending, you'd come over, right? You'd come over, right? If the world was ending, you'd come over, right?
Hey!
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's such a
It was,
beautiful
it's all I could do not to jump in and do Julia's parts for you.
Hey, I
If
would
it was
have
karaoke night, I would have had your back.
I would have been right there with you.
Thanks, man.
JP Saxe, thank you for your time and looking forward to the new single as well. And I know you're super stoked about it. And I guess we will, until we can go back out and be in a crowd, we'll see you online. And
Yeah.
is there anything else coming up that you wanted to mention before we go?
Anything else coming up? Honestly, not really. That next single, hopefully a tour at some point.
Yeah.
But any immediate promo is just more of this. But I would love to connect with people on the internet so I can share all of my feelings with them moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us your @ one more time for
JP, like the letters in my name, SAXE.
Yeah. If you love If the World Was Ending, be on the lookout for Hey Stupid, I Love You. Also awesome. Awesome. It's great to talk to you, dude. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for having me. I had a great
And happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, JP. Have a great day.
Take care.
Bye, home team.